Hello, welcome to Storytime for Home Time with me, James Mayhew. Today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try painting to music. Now, as some of you know, I don't just make books. I'm also very lucky to be able to work with musicians and orchestras at these concerts where I create paintings and illustrations in time to the music. It's a very exciting thing to do, and I've discovered that lots and lots of famous pieces of music were inspired by myths and stories and legends. Stories like The Wonderful Exciting Adventures of William Tell, set to music by Rossini, or The Queen of the Arabian Nights, Scheherazade, in the beautiful music of Rimsky-Korsakov. Now, I've gathered together 6 of my favourite stories for a new book. It's going to be called Once Upon a Tune, and I've only just finished illustrating it. Now, although the book isn't published until the autumn, I think I'll tell you one of the stories right now. This story is called In the Hall of the Mountain King. That's the name of a famous piece of music by a composer called Edvard Grieg. He came from Norway, a beautiful country in the north of Europe, famous for its high mountains and deep lakes. And in Norway, they tell a story of a hero called Peer Gynt. He's a bit of a naughty boy, as you'll discover, but he does have some wonderful adventures, particularly when he discovers trolls that live inside this cave in the mountains. So, are you ready for a story? Here goes. Peer Gynt was angry. He was angry because nobody believed him. Everybody said he was a liar, a cheat, a fool, a good-for-nothing. Even his mother said so. Why, just this morning he came back from a night in the mountains, riding on a great stag, leaping over mountain passes. That's how he ripped his clothes, as he tried to explain to his mother. He almost touched the sky, but his mother didn't believe him. She said, "You're always making up stories. You're always daydreaming. Why can't you get a job? Why can't you settle down? Maybe marry and be sensible. You're old enough, and I'm fed up with looking after you." Peer Gynt went down to the village. He heard people whispering behind his back. He knew they all thought he was nothing but trouble. He had quite a reputation in the village, which was a shame because there was a girl there he really liked. Her name was Solveig, but she wasn't allowed to dance with him. She knew by reputation that Peer Gynt was a bad boy. Peer Gynt saw there was a wedding going on in the village. He went to the wedding, he fooled around, made lots of silly jokes and caused lots of trouble, and everybody got really fed up with him and said, "Peer Gynt, just go away. We don't want you here. Everywhere you go you cause trouble with your tricks and your games and fooling around." And so Peer Gynt left the party at the wedding. He saw Solveig watching him. He would have loved to have danced with her, but there was no chance. She wasn't allowed to. He was the bad boy. So off he went up into the hills, higher into the mountains. It was getting dark, but he didn't care. So what if I get lost in the mountains, he thought. Perhaps then people will feel sorry for me and they won't treat me so badly. They just don't really understand. They don't understand that I'm going to be a great hero one day. I'm going to do wonderful things with my life. I'm going to go off around the world and have adventures. Then they'll see. Then they'll see how wonderful I am. And he stomped off up to the top of the mountain, and there he sat as it got dark. But it was quite cold, and he wanted to go back really, but he refused. "No, I'm not going to go back," he said. "I'm going to stay here all night long." Just then he saw a beautiful girl walking past. This was quite unusual on the top of a mountain. She was dressed all in green. Her hair was a bit green as well. She smiled at Peer Gynt and said, "Hello, I've heard all about how wonderful you are, and I know you think that none of the girls in the village want to marry you, but I would marry you. And my father is very rich. He's actually a king, so I'm a king's daughter, really, and he will give you lots of treasure if you marry me." Well, this sounded irresistible to Peer Gynt. All he'd ever wanted was a wife and lots of treasure and money and success and glory, and this was it. He was going to marry a king's daughter. "Come with me," she said. "Follow me, and I'll lead you to my father. You can meet him." And she led him into a deep, dark cave. It was cold in the cave. It was quite creepy and strange, but he followed the girl deeper and deeper and deeper. He could see almost nothing. But then it started to get a bit lighter again, and he saw lots and lots and lots of lights twinkling all around him. Except then he realised they weren't lights, they were actually eyes, and these eyes were watching him. The cave opened out into a great big hall filled with treasure, and there, on a throne, sat an enormous, great big troll, wearing a crown, the king of the trolls. He realised that he was in the hall of the Mountain King, and all those sparkling eyes belonged to the trolls. They shuffled forward, licking their lips, hissing and slurping. "Oh, look," they said, "look, a human in our cave." He realised that the girl with the green hair was a troll as well, because she was the daughter of the Troll King. She said to her father, "Look, father, I have found a man. I'm going to marry him." And her father, the king, said, "Well, if you want to marry a human, he must become a troll first." He looked at Peer Gynt. "Are you prepared to become a troll?" I don't really know," said Peer Gynt. "What does one do to become a troll?" "Well, it's quite easy," said the king. "First of all, you have to promise to be naughty and wicked." "Well," said Peer Gynt, "everyone thinks I'm naughty and wicked anyway, so I suppose that's all right." "And you must promise to never wash or be clean ever again," said the king of the trolls. "Well, that's easy," said Peer Gynt. "I hardly ever wash anyway." And then the king of the trolls said, "The last thing you need to do is grow a tail." "Oh, well, how does one grow a tail?" "Well, we can pin it on you," said the king of the trolls. The other trolls edged closer, hissing and gurgling and slurping and sniggering. "We'll stick a tail on him. We'll turn him into a troll." "Well, I'm not so sure about that," said Peer Gynt. "I don't know if I want to have a tail stuck on me. I'm not sure if I really want to be a troll." They got closer and closer, and they said, "Well, Peer Gynt, if you're not going to be a troll, that means you're a human." The king leaned forward. "Do you know what we do with humans?" He smiled. "We eat them." "Help!" said Peer Gynt. "Get me out of this cave." "Oh, there's no escape," said the king of the trolls. "You're trapped. You will have to stay here. You're ours now." They reached out, all of the trolls, with their long fingers trying to catch him. But then Peer Gynt suddenly had a feeling that he was falling. He felt himself tumbling, and he could hear church bells ringing. Now, if there's one thing trolls don't like, it's the sound of church bells ringing. So they hissed and drew away and shrank into the wall and disappeared. Peer Gynt woke up and found himself lying on the soft grass of the hillside. "How did I end up here?" he wondered. Had it all been a dream? Just then he saw a girl coming up the hill. It was Solveig's sister, the sister of the girl he really liked. She said, "Did you hear the bells ringing? My sister Solveig rang them for you. Everyone's been worried. Your mother's been worried. Everybody's been searching for you all night. They knew you were lost on the mountains, and so Solveig went to ring the church bells to gather everyone together so they could search for you." "They were searching for me?" said Peer Gynt. "Solveig rang the bells for me?" "Yes," said Solveig's sister. Peer Gynt realised that people didn't hate him as much as he thought he did. They didn't think he was so bad after all, perhaps. He went back down the mountain, and there he met Solveig. He said to her, "I'm going to go off and have adventures in my life, and I'm going to make something good of myself. And when I come back, I hope I'll be a worthy husband for you. Will you wait for me?" Solveig thought for a moment, and then she said, "Yes, Peer Gynt, I will wait for you." So that's the story of Peer Gynt in the Hall of the Mountain King. Peer Gynt went on to have many, many more adventures in a play called Peer Gynt by a writer called Ibsen. And the composer Edvard Grieg wrote lots and lots of wonderful and famous music for this play. But the most famous piece of all is the piece with the trolls. And we're going to hear it now. And while it's playing, I'm going to be doing a painting, a drawing, to go with the music. The music only lasts about 2.5 minutes, so I'm going to have to draw really, really, really fast. Let's see how it goes. Are you ready? Phew! I'm worn out, even though that only took 2.5 minutes. But it was great fun. Maybe you can have a go. I'd love to see what you could do doing some drawing or painting to music. If you do have a go, then why not send me your pictures? You can post them up on Facebook or on Twitter, where I'll be sure to see them. And then I'm going to pick a favourite and send you my picture to say thank you and well done. Now, this is the last episode of Storytime for Home Time for this term, because it's the beginning of the Easter holidays now. But there is going to be an Easter special on the Easter weekend. It's a 2-part story, and it will be posted up on Saturday and on Easter Sunday. And it's all about a magical firebird. It's a story from Russia, and it does have an egg in it, which is why I've saved it for Easter. So look out for that at the Easter weekend, and I'll be back next term as well for more stories, more pictures, and more fun. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Let me know. Keep in touch, and thanks very much. Bye.